Okay, people, welcome back to another Star Wars Playday. Now, this is essentially stuff that I've gotten from customizers or third-party items or customs I've done myself or just things that fit into my Star Wars display that I feel like don't deserve its own review, like some of the model kits that reuse parts from older model kits. Just things to spruce up my Star Wars display. I just did a Marvel Playday a couple weeks ago, or however long it may have been last week. I don't know, I'm getting old. And then the previous Star Wars Playday earlier in the year. Honestly, I just like having one-of-a-kind items or items that a lot of people don't have, or just things that I want to put on the shelf that companies haven't given us yet. Why am I explaining all this? You know what's going on. I just love toys. First up, I finally put together the Bandai model kit R2-Q5, and I've had this model for a little bit, but I'll admit it, a little bit of astromech burnout. Don't get me wrong, I love the little guys and I love them in different colors. It just adds so much to the shelf. But I had just built R4I9. It's just a little bit of overload. It's just the original R2 unit in black with orange decals. Now I will say the new style of decals, they thinned them down a little bit and they quit including the water slides. And the thin ones work fairly well. In fact, it's way less work, but you can still tell that they look like decals. Now there's some parts like here and here and here that are gray in the pictures, but there's no decal for those. You have to paint those yourself. Pay no attention to the shit paint that I put on these. This was just real quick. There's a lot more work required here to make it look great, and that's completely possible. But I'm an action figure collector. I'm okay with seam lines because that's what we get in our $20 toys. Hell, that's what we get in some of our $70 toys. But you gotta admit, it looks great with the rest of the astromech model kits from Bandai. And even better than that, if you customize the kits. This one, and this one is from a buddy of mine on Instagram, Greedo737. I love these things. I will take more and more astromechs, but building them myself, ooh, lazy ass. Another model kit that I've had for quite a while is the Darth Vader, a kind of Return of the Jedi version with the unmasked head and the cut off hand. Now this uses their tri-axial finish, their photo reel, their face printing tech, and it's not bad. They punched in the eye detail. You can see some of this, and then it comes around here and actually adds some color to that big scar, but it really looks pale. Now I just threw some paint into here, but the actual picture in the instruction manual is professionally done. It looks way better. So with some work, you can make that look awesome. Same with the cut off hand. I just threw some silver paint in there just to pop out the detail so I can show it on camera. Another difference here from the original model kit, it has the chest box with the sculpted detail on it, and I just quickly threw stickers on it. I'm probably going to peel these off and paint it like I did the first model kit. But it also comes with an option for a flat. That way, if you don't want to paint or the stickers don't come out really well, because they don't really go around curves and I didn't do the water slides, I apologize. This is a nice option, but it's not going to hold up if you're a stickler for detail and you get up close to it and wait, that doesn't even have buttons. All the actual body is the same as the original model kit, and yes, I've cheated here. I've put the cloth cape from the Black Series Darth Vader on here. It just works much better than that original candy shell, which I do still have down here. And when it flips out, you can see a big gap. It just works as like a panel, like siding on a house. This Vader has a rubber cape. It looks a little bit more toy-like, but it does get out of the way if you want a little bit of action pose. It's not gonna, well, I guess you could fold it, but it does have some stiffness to it. It's the same for the lower robes coming off the belt, rubbery material. You can flip it out, get it out of the way, but if you get too crazy with it, this sometimes flips out and covers up this belt box right here. Once you get it into position, it looks kind of nice. It's a different sheen from the body, so it stands out. It doesn't get lost in the sea of black, but the damn thing is a dust magnet. It's only been a couple days and it's just stuck to it. If you want just a regular Darth Vader, this cap does come off the hand. Oops, that's gone forever. Oh, there it is. You can pull the head off, and then it does come with the optional masked head and then various hands for the right. And honestly, if there was another color to break it up a little bit, it gets lost in itself. I still think this is the best Darth Vader helmet sculpt in 6-inch scale. I've seen people take this head, put it on the Mafex, put it on the SH Figuarts, put it on, oh, how many Vaders do we have by now? Oh yeah, the Black Series. It's just a great Vader. Now I'll have to do an Ultimate Vader showdown at some point, because I think with this, I finally have all the Vaders from all the companies. Here's something I've been messing with on and off for a month or two. A lot of people were suggesting these Molotow liquid chrome pins. Just a paint pen, This one's the finer tip one, I think. And then I also have this size that's a little bit bigger, gets better coverage. So I decided, what the hell, I have an extra Black Series C-3PO, see what happens. And even though there was a learning curve to it, I do not keep on painting, or don't keep on marking as it's trying to dry. You want to go fast and get a lot of coverage, but as soon as that sucker starts drying, get away from it, because you'll just be leaving smudges. You can kind of see right here, it's not as shiny as up here. I got better as I kept using it, but because it's a pen and not a paint, it's hard to get down into tiny little grooves like right there. But it is a lot more chromy, shiny than a lot of the other paints I have used, and way, way easier than some of the airbrush paints I've picked up. They also have a gold that I want to try out. I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. My buddy Mike Lorenzo, I met him in Denver Comic-Con last year. Instagram Mike Lorenzo Art. He sent this to me it's been sometime last year now. But this is an Uncle Milton Excavations Star Wars Darth Maul head. It's just a bone color when you dig it out of the kinetic sand in the crate. Mike painted it up because the tattoo lines are sculpted into the skull here. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Some of you are going to say, oh, what a fun little thing. Some others are going to say the tattoo wouldn't be on the skull. Yeah, probably not, but yeah, it's a fun little thing. Get over it. During the Marvel Playday, I showed off a trench coat and hat for Thing. That was from Rebel 10 Customs. In that same package, I also got these 2 Jedi robes. They're made out of a stretchier material than we're used to. She's also put a wire down the front so you can pose them in different windswept poses or however. The hoods without the water trick like to lay down a little better than a lot of other cloth robes I've seen, because the wire runs up, stays up right here, so when you put the hood down, it does that Jedi just hoop down to the hood. Now this one I did wet down a little bit. I didn't do the full-on water trick, which is just douse the whole thing in water, get the pose you want, and then wait for it to dry, and it usually stays there. But even wetting it down a little bit, I've got that nice drop down to the hood. It's staying on top of his head. It just looks great. This figure is about to go slaughter some younglings. Nice stitch work all the way down. This isn't going to unravel. It's not going to come apart. Yeah, Anakin may just stay in this robe. Now look at this mean looking bastard. J Custom Figures on Instagram hit me up and he said, hey, I enjoyed the show. I dig doing customs. I'd like to send you something. And he showed me this Darth Vader and I was like, hell yeah, I would like to have that Darth Vader. And what it is a Black Series Darth Vader that has been heavily modified into a battle damaged Darth Vader. I mean, look at some of the sculpt work right here to where it's been slashed. You can see skin underneath. He's bleeding. It's same thing right here. These nice wires coming out of the chest box like it's been kind of and it's hanging out. The paint work on some of these cuts where it looks like the lightsaber just struck him here, right across the eye. You can even see, I don't know if you can see that, the eye inside the slash. Because the helmet does come off, he did a nice paint job on Vader's head. I think this is a Terminator arm and hand. But look how he sculpted the suit like it's been pulled back. There's more slashes down here at the legs, the paint scuffs and such to the shin armor. He even battle damaged the cape and then ran a wire down the edge of it so you can bring it around anywhere you want to put it. I picture this Vader up on a hill with just all kinds of dead troopers or stuff around him. He's been through one hell of a battle, maybe a Jedi or two, but he stands triumphant, even though he's going to have to get some work done. Now, we had talked about the Vader, but this was also in that same package, and I was, oh, look at that, because I had looked at Jay's Instagram page and he had done a lot of troopers too. So this was a surprise, and I love me some troopers. He even customized the box a little bit. He said, pay no attention, I was just playing. But getting it open, oh man, look. He even customized all the extra hands down here to match the color scheme of the figure. The unmasked head, amazing. The paint, the battle damage, the wear, the tear, just, oh man, this is one badass clone. And it's on the back. Most of my figures, I don't even customize the back because nobody is ever going to see it. He went all out. There's a wash back here. There's a little bit of damage. Oh, yeah. But he didn't stop there, because look at this. He sent all kinds of accessories for it. He did a helmet with a visor with the visor up. He did a helmet with the visor down. That looks just amazing. He did a helmet with no visor. It just fits into the overall He did an unmasked head with some damage to it, a slice, black eye. And then I don't think he's going to make it through this. But on top of that, there is a backpack, and it took me a minute there's kind of a click to it. That's because he embedded a magnet in the back. It just snaps to the back. He's got a backpack. Or is that upside down? That's probably the right way. Yeah, there's a flap to open up so you can store other stuff in there. Boom. And that's not all. There is also a jetpack that does the same thing. Magnet, it stays on the back. Not bad at all. So yeah, J Custom Figures on Instagram. Look him up. Check out some troopers. Now I know this doesn't seem like much, but but in my last order with Casting Cave, I was sent this, and this makes me super excited to get a Dooku. Or just anyone else that wants to hold a tiny, tiny little hologram of the Death Star. It's cast in holographic material. Look, you can see through it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about most Casting Cave stuff, such as this old man Luke from The Last Jedi head. Now, if you remember, this is the original Hasbro head. Just look at that. Incredible difference here. And like I said with the Casting Cave, Star-Lord, and Captain America that I showed during the Marvel Playday, I just love the contrast he gets in the hair. The dark wash, the light dry brush, it just brings out so much detail. Plus the way he paints eyes, his skin tone, you can see the big difference between the plastic and the actual paint. But it gave me a reason to put this Luke on the shelf. And now that I have this one, I don't even care if a Figuarts comes along. This just looks fantastic. And now I need a crate Luke. Come on, Bandai. Just look a little bit longer. Just look at that. Amazing. Damn amazing. So at the end of the day, more fantastic stuff going on my Star Wars shelf. And what more can I ask for? You can get the model kits at most retailers. I'm not sure if R2-Q5 has made it through the Bluefin distribution chain yet, but if not, it should be very, very soon. As for Mike Lorenzo Art, Rebel 10 Customs, J Custom Figures, look them up on Instagram, give them a follow. And then of course there's Casting Cave. I've talked about him a lot over the course of the past few months, even before that. I just love his stuff. If you haven't checked out the website, go now. Check it out. So if you like the Star Wars Playday, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.